An arrest has been made, 21-year-old Jack Teixeira, who is a member of the Air National Guard from Massachusetts. How does a 21-year-old guardsman gain access to our nation's most closely held secrets? Mike Turner represents the great state of Ohio and is the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, and he joins us now. Chairman, thank you for being here. How consequential to our national security is this breach in your judgment?
Well, it certainly is consequential. It both impacts our relationship with our allies and, of course, our national security. But the real issue is that it can put real people's lives at risk. The documents and information that he released, not only in how it relates to other countries, but even just the conflict that's occurring in Ukraine, is enough to try to change the dynamics and the outcome. Now, luckily, they're static. They're from one period of time. So both Ukraine, the United States, others, and our allies in NATO have an ability to change direction that they were going. But at the same time, this compromises what Ukraine is trying to achieve in rebutting Russian aggression.
Chairman, I'm sure you are wondering, as some of us are as well, how a 21-year-old Air National Guardsman gains access. I assume he had lawful access. It would be a different analysis, I guess, if he did not have access. But with that assumption that he had access, how does that happen that a 21-year-old guardsman from Massachusetts can look at things that arguably even some members of Congress that are not on House Intel cannot?
Surely, and also armed services. I mean, because this is going to be both of our committees, intelligence and armed services, are going to be taking a look at how did he get access to the information, and also how did it take so long to find out that he had inappropriately taken this information. It is very clear so far from all the information we know that for his job, he had no need to know any of the information that he was stealing. None of this information was necessary for his tasks. He appears to be someone who had gained access almost like a tourist in classified documents and then took them, perhaps as the reporting has been, to impress his friends. But at the same time, the fact that he had access at all, that even he could access these documents and gain that knowledge is inappropriate, needs to be fixed, and that's what we're going to be addressing on Capitol Hill.
You know, Chairman, the FBI moved quickly, which is good, and that is to their credit. That does not always happen. There were other leaks of classified information when you and I served together. And to my knowledge, there's still not been an arrest and certainly not a conviction. In your capacity of providing oversight over entities that do have a portfolio within the intelligence community, that includes the FBI. Do you anticipate having a chance to ask the FBI the status of other leak cases where classified information wound up on the front page of major newspapers?
Right. Well, we do on a regular basis, and unfortunately, what we find is not only are there times where our agencies are lax in protecting information, but those that intend to do us harm, that take this information, are professionals, and so it makes it much more difficult to track, much more difficult to try to address. The one thing, though, that they can do, which is where our mitigation usually occurs, is when finding a leak, is to try to make certain that access is denied and is no longer continuing. That way you can at least assume that going forward, the risk to national security is diminished. But every day we have, around the globe, people who are trying to obtain our classified information for compromising both the United States and our allies. This is one where, because he was sloppy, we got lucky. We've got him. The classified leak is going to be plugged, and then now we'll pursue the judicial system of pursuing him for, as they are indicating, they're going to charge him with espionage.
Before I let you go, we got about 45 seconds. Give us a glimpse into what the conversations among world leaders would be like in the aftermath of a breach. I mean, is there embarrassment? I mean, how do world leaders talk about these issues post-leak?
Well, other nations have leaks too. That's actually one of the ways that we get intelligence. But they do look to see, what is the United States doing and how are we going to protect their information secrets, because we work so cooperatively with our allies. Our intelligence community does not just get intelligence for the protection of the United States. It also shares information with our allies. That process is one that, of course, has vulnerabilities, and that's where people have concerns.
Chairman Mike Turner from the great state of Ohio, Chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, and as he noted, also on House Armed Services. Thank you so much for joining us, Chairman.
Thanks for having me.